Hey, what is up, YouTube? Cool guy. Well, not cool guy anymore, but the builder is back with another video. And today, after a long awaited time, I am actually going to be making cash. So, to make cash, what you're going to need is you're going to need red concrete powder, red wool, red concrete, white terracotta, light gray concrete powder, white wool, gray terracotta, light gray terracotta, and brown terracotta. Pause the video if needed, grab these materials, and once you have those materials, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place this little pattern on the floor. So you're going to want to do 2 red concrete, well, powder, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete powder. Now, all you need to do is just do this for another 2 rows. So 1, 2. And all you need to do is just repeat this for 2 rows. It's pretty simple. And, okay. And once you have that, it should look like this. And that is just 3 rows. Once you have those 3 rows, come back up to the top. And what you want to do is you want to do 2 red wool, 4 red concrete, 2 red wool. For the next row, you want to do 2 red concrete powder, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete powder. And do that for about another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say for another 5 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to fill out all the blocks because I am currently using red concrete powder. So we will do that. Okay. For the next row, what you want to do is 1 red concrete powder, 2 red wool, 2 red concrete, 2 red wool, 1 red concrete powder. For the next row and the final row of the legs, you want to do 2 red wool, 4 red concrete, 2 red wool. And I'm actually going to check something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I did do that right. I was just checking because whenever you do the legs, it is always 12 rows. And then the torso is another 12. So, once you have that, this is what the legs want to look like. Pause if needed. Then, what you want to do is you want to come right up to the top here. And you want to start off with 1 solid row of red concrete. For the next row, you want to do 1 red concrete on either ends of this row, then red wool everywhere else. For the next row, you want to do 2 red concrete in the 2 center spots, then red wool everywhere else. For the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, you want to do 4 red concrete powder in the center, so let's just fill that in. Nope, that one just fell to the ground, so that's 3, 4, 5, and then just fill the rest in with your red wool. Okay. Come on. No, you can place, buddy. There we go. For the next row, you want to do 3 red wool, 2 red concrete powder, 3 red wool. For the next 2 rows, just do 2 solid rows of red wool. So 1 and 2. And for the final row, you want to do 3 red concrete, 2 white terracotta, 3 red concrete. And once you have that, that is what your legs and torso should look like. As I always say, pause the video if needed. And once you have that, I am actually going to go back down and clear off that one block that just dropped down there. Just in case. So, because I'm going to start the arms right where they're supposed to be, but I'll probably just start from the top. No, I can't. Because there is red concrete powder. And that stuff falls with gravity. So, once you have this, you want to come down here on this only solid row of red concrete. And on either side, what you want to do is you want to place 3 red concrete. Let's just do it on both sides, just to make it easier. And basically, it's a pretty simple pattern. What I'm actually going to do is you can do this on both sides or just on one. I am currently on the right. All I'm going to do is you want to take this one block right here and bring it all the way up to the top. Like that. Then, these top 2 rows, just fill them in with red concrete. Leaving you with something that should look like that. Basically creating a little C, to say the least. And once you have that, come back down to the bottom of here, and what you want to do is you want to place 1 red concrete, 1 red concrete powder, and then for the next row, do 2 red concrete powder. Actually, make that 2. Then do 1 red concrete powder, 1 red wool. For the next row, do 2 red wool, 1 red wool, 1 concrete powder, 2 red wool, well, 2 solid rows of red wool, then 1 red concrete powder, well, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete powder. And that's what the arm should look like. I basically did the little red outline because it's easier, in my opinion. And the main fact is, you're just saying red concrete the whole time. But on this other side, if you guys did not get that, you can pause the video, copy it out here. But I will do it block for block on this other side. So, once you finish the one side, what you want to do is you want to come over and basically do the same exact thing. So you want to do 2 red concrete, 1 red concrete powder. Then 2 red concrete powder, 1 red concrete. Then come right back over, do the same thing. Then do 1 red wool, 1 red concrete powder, 1 red concrete. Then do 2 red wool, 1 red concrete. Then you want to do 1 red concrete powder, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete. For the next 2 rows, do 2 red wool, 1 red concrete. And just copy that. Then you want to do 1 red concrete powder, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete. Then for the final 2, just fill them all in with red concrete. Leaving you with a little something that should look a little bit... wait. Like this. Okay. Once you have that, all you need to do is you just need to move on to the back. And as always, pause the video if needed. And coming over to the back here, what you want to do is you want to do... Well, we'll just say 3 red concrete powder coming out on either side. If this is a different block, I will cut it out and change it. So, they're just fillers. And then what you want to do is in this little pattern, you want to do 1 red concrete powder coming in on either side. Then do 1 red wool. And then 2 red concrete. Exactly like that. Oh, and also sorry if...
Yes, probably.
If that came through. I mean... I don't... This microphone that I have picks up a lot of stuff. Okay. So once you have that, what you want to do is come over to this, and all you need to do is just copy that row for another 2. It's basically like we're just copying the first 3 rows of the front. And that's all you're doing. But after that, it all changes. Somewhat. For this next row, once you have those 3, you want to do 3 red wool, 2 red concrete, 3 red wool. Then for the next about 5 rows, you want to do 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete. Basically, I think it's 6, and I said 5. Just bring it all the way up until you reach that block right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 5. So all you're doing is you're just copying that 1 row that you had. The hardest part, I would say, of this whole body, well, no. There are really a lot of hard parts for this skin. There really isn't. I mean, he has quite a bit of 3D elements with, like, ears and stuff, but otherwise this is a fairly simple skin. Okay, once you have this, you want to come back up to the top, and you want to do 1 red concrete powder, 2 red wool, 2 red concrete, 2 red wool, 1 red concrete powder. For the next row, you want to do 2 red wool, 4 red concrete, 2 red wool. For the next row, do solid row of red concrete. And basically, the back of the legs look exactly like the front. I mean, that is what they want to look like. Pause the video if needed. And once you have that, it is actually the simplest back of the torso I can ever tell you. All you need to do is take each end up all the way up to the top. Both ends. Then, what you want to do is you want to fill that in with your red. Then just come down 1 more row with your red, leaving you with something that should look exactly like this. Then, you come right here in the middle of this, and you want to do 2 solid rows of red wool. So 1, 2. Then put red on either side of your row. And you want to do this for about 5 rows. Yeah, that is 5, I think. Because 1, 2. Yeah, that's 5. And all you want to do is just do 1 red wool on either side. Then fill the rest in with red concrete powder. So that's for 5. So that's 3, 4, 5. And then that and that. And then the rest, you just fill that in with your red wool. I mean, there is not much detail on the back. And that's basically what it wants to look like. And the arms are even more simple. I mean, all you need to do is once you have this, just come over, pause the video if needed, come over here, line it up with your arm right here, and you want to do 1 red wool, well no wait, 1 red concrete, 2 red wool, and do that on the other side, 1 red concrete, 2 red wool. And all you need to do is, so these two red wool want to go all the way up to the top, and this red concrete wants to go all the way up to the top. That's all the detail on this, on the arms. That's it. I mean, there's no extra detail, no nothing. And as a matter of fact, I'm not 100% sure, but maybe tomorrow I might do Nico. Don't put my word on it, because a lot of the time I say I will upload it within the month, and I never do. So, yeah, there's that fact. So, once you have something that looks a little bit like this, you are done with the back. All I need to do is just find the sides. Okay. I think both sides are identical, if I'm not mistaken. No, they're not. They are different. Okay. So, what we're going to do is come over to this side right here. And what you want to do is come down to the bottom, and you want to break these two blocks, replace them with red wool. Then, what you're going to want to do is just bring red wool all the way up to the very top until you reach the bottom of the arms. And for the arms, you want to do 2 red concrete, 2 white terracotta, 2 red concrete. Actually, make that 2 red wool, and that will just keep concrete. And then, what you want to do is you want to do 11 rows of just red concrete powder. So just bring that all up until you're basically 1 row from the top. And then that very final row is just 2 red wool. I mean, it does not get more simpler than that, but it's kind of hard to explain, to say the least. And then for the other side, it's almost identical. The only thing is, the red concrete is just red wool. That's it. So, yeah. Just fill this all in with red wool. And let's see if I can do it down. Nope, I cannot do it down still. That's the one thing that sucks about doing it on the computer over the PS4. Okay. Then you want to do 2 red concrete, 2 white terracotta, 2 red wool. And then fill the rest of that in with your red wool. That's it. So, yeah. I mean, that's probably... Come on, place the block. About it. And whenever you reach the top, just come in by 2. With any block, it does not really matter. And once you have that side complete, that is what you want it to look like. Nothing special. Now it's time to move on to the head. The very final part of this statue. As a matter of fact, I think... No. Okay. So, once you've done this on this one side, you guys did not get the other side. This is what it looks like. Pause if needed. All you need to do is just come over to this, to the top here. And what you want to do is you want to place 1 solid row of gray terracotta. Then come out by 2 rows with your white terracotta. So 1, 2. Leaving you with something that should look exactly like that. Then, what you want to do on top of that row is you want to do 1 white terracotta, 1 white wool, 1 light gray concrete powder, 2 white terracotta, 1 light gray concrete powder, 1 white wool, 1 white terracotta. For the next row, do 1 gray terracotta, 1 light gray, 1 brown terracotta, 2 white terracotta, 1 brown, 1 light gray, and 1 gray. For the next 2 rows, do 2 solid rows of black terracotta. So 1, 2. Then actually make that 3. So there's 3. Then for the next row, you want to do 1 red wool on either side. Then gray terracotta everywhere else. For the final row, just do 1 solid row of red wool, leaving you with something that should look a little bit like this. And I know what you may be saying. That does not look like cash. And as a matter of fact, since we're already here, we might as well just do it. So you see where the top of these 2 eyeballs are? I mean, I do not know what those are. You want to come and find... Oh. My audio just disconnected. I'm hoping that the audio kept on recording. You want to come over to this block right here. Count in by 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do 1 gray terracotta. Come on top of that block. Do 2 gray terracotta. Count over by 1. Place a gray terracotta. Then do another one. Go up by 2. Then do 1 gray terracotta to your left. Go up by 1. Go left by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go down by 1. Go left by 1. Go down by 2. Then go right by 1. Then up by 1. And then just connect. And then just fill the rest of that in, leaving you with something that should look like that. Then all you need to do is just come up to the top and just trace the black with your red wool. And leaving you with something that should look a little bit like this. Pretty simple layout. And I think both sides are actually the same. Yeah. Which kind of helps. The only thing that's kind of funny is on one of the pictures, the block is broken out. So I know what the block is. But come to either side. I'm going to start on the right. And basically what you want to do is you want to come out and you want to do, just place a row here. Then do a solid row of red concrete powder. Then you want to come off until you are 2 rows off of the back. So 1, there's 1, and 2. And it should look a little something like this. And then what you want to do is come over to this first block here. Do 2 white concrete. We'll make it 4. Then do 2 like that. And that is basically all the little detail you want. And then just come over to the other side and do that. So 2 white terracotta. Then another 2 on top. 2 gray terracotta here. Leaving you with something that looks like that. Then this row of red concrete powder you want to take and just outline the little hair and stuff with it. So, like that on both sides. Then, all you need to do is just fill a little bit of it in with your red wool. So that should be about 4 rows. So, yeah, that's 1, 2, 3. That's only 3. Then what you want to do is you want to place 4 red wool. Make that 3. Yeah, I already did 3. Then 1 red concrete, 1 red wool. For the next row, do 3 red wool, 2 red concrete powder, 1 red concrete. For the next row, do, let's say, 4 red wool. Nope, we only wanted 3. Yep, because it looks like extra because it's expanded out. Then 1 red concrete, 2 red concrete powder. And I keep on placing red concrete powder. For the final row, you want to do 4 red wool, 3 red concrete. Leaving you with something that should look a little bit like this. And all you need to do is just come over to the other side and copy that. So, all I'm doing is I am just looking forward and copying what I have. It's a little hard to explain, but it isn't. I mean, I just did not know how to phrase that. Rather to do it block for block or just row by row. Because, I mean, yeah. It's confusing sometimes whenever you're doing this. But either side, pause the video if needed. And just copy that. And that's all you need for both sides. Both sides are exactly identical, and that's all you need. So, then all you need to do is just fill the rest of the faces in with red wool. So, the back can be red wool, and the top can be red wool. And then there's just there's just 2 3D elements we have to add. You guys probably could guess what it is. I mean, it's pretty easy to guess, because he has little ears. I don't know what animal he's dressed up as, but it's just little tiny ears. So yeah, the top wants to look like that, and the back wants to look like that. And once you've filled both of those faces in with your red wool, all you want to do is those little outlines that you took out, just expand them out by 1 with your... Nope, wait. These parts you do not want to expand out. So you just expand the red concrete on the face. That's all you... On the sides, all you do is just expand out the red concrete. That's it. And basically, once you have done that on both sides, you are 100% fully done, and you have a cash statue standing right in front of you. And as a matter of fact, if you guys have managed to do this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Well, I think I probably could have just